Mate, I've got to say I'm a little bit fanboy right now, and I'm a little bit excited with this one because this is race car.
Cheers, man.
Audi A3.
Yes, A3.
Not S3.
Not an S3.
What are we calling this? Not four-wheel drive, but...
Wrong wheel drive.
So we've got a front-wheel drive, 520 plus brake horsepower A3.
Yeah, last time on the dyno, 522. Made a few tweaks since then, high flow inlet, so we're probably looking 520, 530, that sort of region.
And obviously stripped out, and I'm just, everywhere you look, it's just race car. I don't think you could look at this car and see a panel that hasn't pretty much been touched. And you're saying actually it's probably just the doors and the roof, right?
Yeah, pretty much the doors and the roof are the only thing that haven't been touched on it. But yeah.
I was going to ask you who your tuner was, but I was quite surprised to find out it...
Yeah, so the majority of the mapping, it's all done by me. It's on a standalone. I taught myself how to use the software with a bit of help from a couple of friends. And then Bill at Badger 5 kind of had a look over what I'd done, made a few tweaks, and kind of showed me where I'd gone wrong, where I'd done well.
Yep.
And from there on out, I've been mapping it myself. I still send logs back to him occasionally just to like get an idea of what I'm doing and ask him for advice.
Yep.
But yeah, it's me on a tablet.
Would I be right in saying that this is built by you two, like pretty much every...
Pretty much. The only thing I haven't built is the gearbox.
And let's touch on the engine now, because obviously it's making 520 plus brake. What does it take to get an A3 to this kind of level?
To build it reliably, so it's going to last.
Yep.
There's a fair bit of work. So it's a fully forged build. Every nut and bolt is changed. So it's Wassenaar pistons, 82.5mm, 1847cc. It's IE I-beam rods rather than H-beams because they're lighter.
Okay.
So standard stroke because I wanted it to be revvy.
Okay.
I did look at doing a stroker, but I like short strokes, closer to square, so it's a more revvy engine. So to go with that, we got a fully built large port head, Supertech, in-canal, single groove exhaust valves. Yeah, so stainless inlets, titanium retainers, double valve springs on it. They're being pushed open by cat cams. Camshafts with verniers on both ends. This is like the 5th engine the car's had.
Oh, really?
I've been through different stages. I kind of found a reliable power point about 6 years ago, about 350 brake.
Okay.
Ran that lasted 4 years, and then it was time when it broke. You can't rebuild it and have the same again, can you?
Yeah, of course.
So
of course.
if it breaks, the only way is up.
And as far as fueling, any upgrades there?
Yeah, so we're running on some FID 1000 injectors, and it's also got an AEM progressive meth system.
Okay.
So there's a 4-litre tank in the back and a progressive controller down under the dash here.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's not meth dependent, but it's mainly just to keep the inlet temperatures down and keep it all reliable.
As far as your turbo, it's got a nice little turbo on it.
So yeah, it's got the new Garrett G25 660. I'll be totally honest, when it came out, I did not believe it could be any good. It's too small. It can't do GT30 power. Bill at Badger 5 tested it, and I was like, whoa. The results were mental.
Wicked.
So sold the GT30, got the G25, never looked back.
Really?
It's transformed the car.
And you've got switchable maps mapped into this?
Yeah, so we've got 3 switchable maps. I've got one for low boost for kind of wet weather, which is 0.7 bar, ramping up to about a bar. I've got a mid map, which is about 1.4 bar on spool, ramping up to 1.7. Okay. And then I've got a steering wheel button on here, which is all the boost. It's about 30, 32 PSI.
That is mental. Yeah. And you've got it on a button on the steering wheel.
On a button on the steering wheel that says more power.
Just kind of scanning around the car, I'm looking at this amazing kind of mechanical looking gear shifter.
Yeah, man. So that is a Volkswagen Motorsport shifter.
Okay.
I bought the shifter unit with the tower. Didn't have any cables for it, so I got myself on eBay, looked at things that suited, and picked up a pair of cables from a Volvo S40.
No way.
Turned a thread on the end, rose joints, made it all work, made all the bracketry, and
here we are.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that's mated to a gearbox that's had quite a lot of work done to it too, right?
Yeah, so it's an 02M 6-speed transmission. I blew it up about 30 PSI on a rip last year. So it's now got a monster performance 3rd to 6th synchro kit in it.
Amazing.
So it's a stock 1st and 2nd because they're on the standard input shaft, and then 3rd up to 6 are a motorsport uprated kit.
Okay.
Because I still use the car on the road, I kept it with synchros.
Okay.
I didn't want to have a dog box.
Yep.
One missed shift and you could take the teeth off the dogs. It's money down the drain. So
moving on to some of your other interior mods, there's a lot of scaffolding up in here, bro.
Yeah, a fair bit of scaffolding. So this is an OMP. It is a dash dodger, but it's an FIA homologated multi-point bolt-in. It has been welded into the shell on the A pillars and the B pillars as well. Yeah, it's all braced up.
Should we touch on your seats? Because again, race car.
Yeah, so these had a bit of an incident, which we might talk about, a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And I hit my head on my passenger's helmet, who hit his head on the windscreen.
Oh, wow.
And broke both the seats off the mounts. And after that, it was like, we are going full safety.
Yep.
And wraparound seats from Cobra.
And moving on to your wheels, brakes and suspension.
18x10 Team Dynamics Pro Race 1.3.
Okay.
And then we run an AP 6-pot caliper from the Pro 5000 range. It's a CP 9660.
Yep.
That allows us to run a BTCC 368mm disc with
They're massive.
with a BTCC pad in it.
Serious.
And they are unreal.
Yeah.
It will lap all day long. Brakes never get hot. It just goes and
Amazing.
it goes, and the pads last forever. Recently, CB Auto have made a 300mm two-piece rear using a Willwood rotor. I swapped out from the ECS kit I used to have, and it's actually a kilo lighter per side.
No way.
And really cheap replacement disc, and it's a lovely finish on it. So yeah, that with the rear bias adjuster gives me the ability to tune the brake balance front to rear. So you change that depending on how much fuel's in it on a track day, that sort of thing. So suspension-wise, we're on Gaz Golds all the way around.
Okay.
Custom spring rates. I'm currently running 650 pounds front and rear.
Okay.
On the rear, instead of the standard like shock and spring setup you normally get, where you have a shock and then a separate spring on the beam.
Yeah.
I've done a conversion. I made some top mounts and I've converted it to a full coilover rear setup. So I did all the measurements, sent them off to guys I know at Gaz.
Yeah.
And these came back, and it's really good.
Yeah, for now, bro, I think there's nothing left to do apart from go for a rip.
Nice one. Let's go for a
Do
drive.
it, bro. Let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Alright guys, so we are out in this crazy A3 and I hope you can hear us because it is loud as hell, and this is race car. I am strapped in like I'm about to go on a roller coaster. I've got my groin strap and everything. This is very intimidating. And also guys, I really wanted to mention, and I hope again you can hear us, that this car has actually had a 150 mile an hour crash at the Nürburgring. Bro, elaborate on that.
Oh man, so Mum and Dad were touring around Germany in a Polo, because that's a normal thing to do. Me and mate decided to go out there on a Friday, go and say hello, catch up with them, do a few laps.
Yep.
And yeah, it all went wrong. 150 on the clock over the crest at Schwedenkreuz. Round we went, 28 metres of barrier, pretty much every part of the car smashed, and yeah, it was make or break at that point.
This is no joke. This crashed at 150 mile an hour. I will leave links to the video because there is video footage of this crashing at 150 mile an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, it woke me up a bit.
Yes! Oh my god! The potential of this car is wasted on a road, isn't it? Like a normal road.
I hope it kind of goes some way to showcasing that front-wheel drive can still move.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We're putting the power down. I realised that we have, like, I think it was a bit of a traction issue in first gear, like when we first put our foot down. But that's to be kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to happen, right?
Conditions aren't ideal today.
Of course.
On a hot day, on a warm track with slicks on, or with the AR1s when they're up to temp, it hooks up fine.
Yeah. But now it's just crazy. This is crazy. Sounds home. It's just everything. It's just, this is pure race car. I've had nothing like this. I've had some track setup cars on the channel, but this is actually ready to go race car. Like, you know what I mean? This is
yeah, man. So this is going to be racing this year.
Okay.
So I've been building it for a long time, kind of heading towards it.
Yeah.
But the plan is to race this year in the 750 Motor Club.
This is mad.
So I'll be turning the power down a little bit to meet the regs, but we'll be entering road sports hopefully. So
guys, this is no joke. I've never been in a car set up like this. This is just the sound. Listen to the gears, the sound, the turbo. This is porn. This is, do you know what I mean? To someone like me, this is the dream. this car. This is when it comes alive, isn't it? On the corners, just the way you're throwing it through the corners. I know you're a driver, like, you know what I mean. And
it sounds daft. I know it's 500 brake.
Yep.
I don't care about the power.
Yeah.
For me, it's the handling, the brakes.
Yes, of course.
And the power's nice to have. Don't get me wrong. But if it was 350, I'd still be happy.
Yeah.
It's just that philosophy. Every time something breaks, I'll never rebuild it the same. I'll only ever go up.
That's the rule, though, isn't it? If you break it, upgrade it, isn't it?
That's the rule. If it breaks, you make it better.
All right, guys. So it is that time. OG behind the steering wheel. I thought I'd just wear the race gear because we're in a race car, so why not? I'm just going to make it more tricky for myself to drive this car. Now, I can't say that I'm not a little bit intimidated by this beast because,
man, it's cool.
Mate, you drive it. You're a proper driver, like, you know what I mean. And I think obviously this car is capable of 10 times more than I can throw it. I'm just gonna take it easy. I can barely reach the pedals because this isn't on rails. So we've got a booster under here. Obviously, I'm wearing all this just to. I don't know. There's a bit of a. Yeah, I think there's a method behind it.
Bit of a psychology.
Put me in the mode, like, you know what I mean. Whew. All right, so respect for this car. So we're going to be running it in medium boost. This button on the steering wheel actually it's a pass kind of button.
Yeah, it's like a push to pass system. So mid boost runs about 27 psi ish. You press the button on the wheel, it's a push to make button. That jumps it up to 30, 31 psi ish. Okay, cool. It's like a push to pass for a little extra shove.
So when I'm confident I might hit that button, we've got to hit the button.
But so on mid we're like 480 ish.
Okay.
And then on full it's kind of 520 plus.
All right, cool. Well, all right, that's first. Jesus, I can literally just reach this clutch. All right, so
see how you get on.
Yeah, see how we get on. Jesus Christ, I feel so small in this. This is crazy. All right, we're away. Excuse me, guys, and that's the diff, isn't it? It jumps a little bit, doesn't it?
That's a plate diff in there.
Okay, let me just put it into second. All right, so we're in second now. We have a straight ahead. So, would you reckon give it a blast?
Give it a blast, man. Just watch her jumping.
I'm in a race car right now. This is crazy. This is mental. So we drop it back into third. We go for this corner. Whoa! Whoa, mate. That is crazy. So I felt the diff pulling me, and then I got a bit of understeer kind of going around that corner.
Yeah,
so it was almost like lighting up and pulling us forward. Yeah. Mate, this is... Guys, I love it. Second gear, I'm gonna hit the button. Whoa! Hit the button. Mate, this is crazy. It's an event. It pulls you left to right, you're fighting it, and when the wheels light up, mate, it literally like pulls you onto the other side of the road, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, you gotta be awake.
This is crazy. I'm harnessed in. I'm just strapped in. It's like, guys, oh my, this is heaven. This is heaven. This is Now, going back to the beginning when I said this car could just do 10 times more than what I could throw it. It literally could. I can feel it. Like, you know, I feel like a novice trying to drive this, but mate, this is awesome. This is awesome, guys.
Yeah, John, I'm really glad you like it. I'm just really happy to come out and share it with everyone.
Mate, it's so sick, and the noises, guys. Are you hearing the sound of the gears and everything? This is, mate, this is crazy.
I love the sound of the gearbox, really do. Oh, making all sorts of faces.
glitches. What is this? This is so rewarding.
It's a workout,
when you get it
isn't it?
right. Do you see, like, just cutting through? Like, it's probably nothing to you, but this is like,
no, man.
man.
A really good mate of mine once drove it. He's an art instructor, and he said he couldn't decide if it was brilliantly frustrating or frustratingly brilliant.
You nailed it.
Because when you just get it right, it just dances and it just feels so good.
Oh, mate, you did right there, going through those corners there. I was like, right, I was going through the gears. You're probably thinking, what a dickhead. But mate, I felt like a race driver. I felt like I was in a race, like, you know what I mean? It's just amazing. Obviously, the roads we're doing it on are nice and open, you can see, and it's controlled, but you know, just giving it a little bit, like, it's rewarding, man.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. That's why it's still road legal, because I just love taking it out for a drive on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling you get driving around in it. It's cool.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Guys, there you go. Alright guys, so that is a wrap. We're ending the video here. It's just been so much fun. Obviously, I've just been in stitches, enjoying the ride, and even getting the privilege to drive this track beast. This is by far the most track-focused track beast I've ever driven in my life, full stop, let alone on the channel. It's amazing, bro. Thank you so much for coming down today, man.
Thank you so
let me
much,
drive
mate.
this and experience this. It means a lot, man. I know how much this car means to
I've
you.
been really looking forward to it.
Mate, it's been so fun. And also, you do YouTube yourself, guys. I've got to point you in the direction of your channel, bro. Shout it out, please.
Yeah, man.
Tell
Me and a
about
friend, Luke, so we started a channel, Team Prawn Racing. It's kind of a mix of garage, techie stuff, working on the car, building it, everything we do, and then track days, and then the plan is racing it this year. So we're going to be racing in the 750 Road Sports.
And you're going to
so I'm going to try and like do a race vlog.
Yep.
So you know, a bit of behind the scenes stuff in the pits, a bit of vlogging whilst we're racing with any luck.
There was also some people you wanted to thank with this build. And
yeah, man. Obviously, the main one is my family, mum and dad. Dad still drives the car on track days.
Yep.
My wife for letting me go nuts with this really and never asking any questions. Big one on the car side, it's got to be Bill and the guys at Badger 5 helping me build the engine, you know, with the dyno time for the mapping and stuff, just to make sure I'm not going to blow it up myself.
Yep.
CB Auto for all their help, Gas Shock, Silver Project, ZK Fabrications on the fabrication work on the exhaust manifold. Kind of everyone really, everyone has ever helped with a car over the last decade. It's been a proper adventure. It's a really cool story, and I really want it to continue. So yeah. So yeah, no, check it out. It's Team Prawn Racing on YouTube, Team Prawn Racing on Instagram.
Make sure you hit up. I'll leave links in the description, also to the crash. Guys, it's been an amazing day, and if you have enjoyed today, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Make sure you go back and check some other content out too. And Team Prawn Racing, make sure you check them out, and guys, we will catch you on the next one. Peace out, man.